Hello and welcome to the All-Star edition of the NASCAR Quick Hit here at SHIPIT Nation. I am Eric, also known as TheGame in Discord, and this morning, as this is a much different recording time for me, we are going to be discussing the NASCAR All-Star race taking place at the famous North Wilkes-Barre Speedway. As always, please go ahead and hit that like button. And please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, as it goes an incredible long way in helping us with the YouTube algorithm. First up, there are 250 laps on Sunday night's main event on deck for us. That is up 50 laps from the previous 2 years. The 23-24 edition of this race was 200 laps. This year they added 50 for 250 laps. And that equals out to roughly 175 Dominator points. And we absolutely want to target those points because the past 3 races have absolutely been dominated by the front row. The 2024 All-Star race was a fresh repave of the North Wilkes-Barre Speedway. Joey Logano led 199 laps out of 200. In the heat races yesterday, Keselowski took no tires at all, and led 74 laps out of 75. And in Heat 2, everybody took tires except for Chase Briscoe. And in that heat, Christopher Bell led 69 laps, out of 75. Clean air is king here at North Wilkes-Barre, or so it has seemed so far, and we have to assume that trend is going to continue. So once again, 175 Dominator points, and clean air has been deemed king so far at the newly repaved North Wilkes-Barre Super Speedway. So this is the All-Star race. So that means this is an exhibition race. And let me go ahead. I'm doing some new stuff with some graphics here. Look at that. This is not your typical NASCAR race by any stretch of the imagination. Right now, there will be rather, a total of 23 cars in the All-Star race main event itself. That is what you're playing on DraftKings, right? However, we only know 20 of those drivers, and we'll go over those drivers here shortly. The other 3 drivers go in via what's called the All-Star Open, which is a 100-lap race that occurs before the All-Star race. So let me show you the All-Star Open starting lineup while I also get a drink of water. 1 second. Am I good? I think I'm good. So here is the starting lineup of the All-Star Open. And as you can see here, there's some pretty decent cars. Shane Van Gisbergen surprisingly got the pole. No one was expecting that. Clean air is king. So you can probably assume he'll lead some laps in the All-Star Open, but I would be surprised if he wins it. Hocevar's good. Gregson's good at these tracks. Michael McDowell. Ryan Preece is probably one of the favorites to win. So there's some pretty good cars in this 100-lap open, and the top 2 of them transfer over to the All-Star race main event itself. Then the third is a All-Star fan vote winner that also transfers into the main event. We do not know who those 3 drivers are as of my recording of this video. If you are a member of SHIPIT Nation and you are a member of the Discord, which I'm assuming you are, myself or the editor will tag the channel the Discord channel with who those 3 drivers are, as well as update the projections in SaberSim. But right now, we just do not know who those drivers are. And because we do not know who those drivers are, we are unlikely to have ownership this evening. This is an exhibition race, and they don't normally do this. This is like a twice-a-year thing. They do it for the Busch Clash, and they do it for the All-Star race. So we are unlikely to have ownership numbers tonight. However, that is subject to change, and if I can make that happen, I will. I also make sure to write all this in the slate plan. So the All-Star Open, as I said, is 100 laps. They get a competition break at lap 40, so they get a competition caution at lap 40. Then, as I mentioned, the top 2 finishers transfer to the All-Star race. Then the fan vote winner gets into the All-Star race. The All-Star race itself is what you folks really need to listen to as far as this format goes. And because of this format, I would not at all or how should I say it? I would not blame you, fine folks, if you skipped this slate altogether or if you played very lightly, because now, again, just listen to this format and you'll understand why. The All-Star race is 250 laps. All laps count and overtime rules are in effect. That's your typical NASCAR race. There is a competition caution at or around lap 100. So it could be 100, 101, etc. Right around lap 100, there's going to be a competition caution. Everyone knows that. To throw a wrench into everything, NASCAR has given a promoter's caution. So the promoter's caution can occur anytime after lap 100 up to lap 220. That means the promoter of the race, and in this case, I think that's Marcus Smith. I hope I'm not incorrect on that. If he finds the race boring, he can throw the caution at any time up till lap 220. Yesterday, during the NASCAR broadcast of the qualifying heat races, they were really hyping up how there's going to be a special person holding the yellow flag and will be interacting with the fans to see when to throw this promoter's yellow. Guys and gals, if there's any listening, I'm not Nostradamus. However, I'm also not Nostradamus. There's going to be a promoter's caution somewhere between lap 200 and 220. I can almost guarantee it, right? And as I mentioned earlier, last year's race, Joey Logano led 199 laps out of 200. In yesterday's heat races, Keselowski led 74 out of 75, and Bell led 69 out of 75. You can't tell me that someone's not going to stink this show up on Sunday, probably Christopher Bell or Brad Keselowski, and they will throw a caution, right? It's going to happen. So because of that, if you want to skip this slate altogether or just play it very lightly, I completely understand. And also, I apologize if my dog's barking in the background or coming through. It's Sunday fun day here in the game household, and they don't like people walking past the house. And Dad is recording a video, so fun times indeed. All right, let's go ahead and break down the starting lineup as we know it now. Wait, add to stage. I need to hold on. I need to remove this. I need to add this. Look at me go, huh? So this is the starting lineup as we know it now. The top 20 won't change. 3 drivers will be added. And spoiler alert, no matter who those 3 drivers are, you will want exposure to those 3 drivers because they have shown in the past to score very well as far as DraftKings fantasy points go. And there's also a fantastic chance that people will build with just these 20 and not care at all about the 3 that are being added, right? Especially since they're being added so close to lock. So my advice is wait as long as you can. Confirm the last 3 drivers in the field. We'll make sure to update Discord with who they are, as well as update SaberSim with their projections, and then build from there. And you can see the starting lineup. As I mentioned earlier, you have Brad Keselowski and Christopher Bell on the front row. Cash games, pick one of them. Tournaments, you could probably play them together. Clean air has been king. It's been kind of hard to pass here. Tire wear doesn't really seem to matter. So it's hard to think that not one of these drivers is going to dominate a lot of this race. Keselowski needs it. Keselowski's season has been terrible. Keselowski needs it, and he gets the preferred line to start the race. If he gets the jump, which I assume he will, I assume he'll lead lap 1, can he hold off Christopher Bell? I don't think anybody having this serious discussion would think that Keselowski could hold Bell off on a typical Sunday just based off how their seasons have gone so far. But clean air has been king. Keselowski is on the pole, and he gets the jump. So I think cash games, pick one of them. In tournaments, you could probably consider playing both, because Keselowski's 6,900, nice, and C Bell's 9,800. So neither of them are 10K. Obviously, Brad K super cheap. However, Brad K has started up towards the front before at this race and fallen towards the back. So buyer beware on Brad K, but he is in the catbird seat today. Third place, we have Ross Chastain. He showed some speed. Something I also wanted to mention here as well. If you are using the power rankings to help build your lineups this weekend, that's members of the SHIPIT Nation, I would only focus really on recent form and track type ranking. Track rank is literally just the past 2 all-star races, so it's not really the best indicator of their performance here at North Wilkes-Barre, where the track type ranking is using all short flat tracks over the past 24 and 25 season. So that's a quick mention for that. So Ross Chastain, he's cheap. If we think passing is going to be difficult, no problem playing him. We know he can get physical, so if he's in the right position after that promoter's caution, he could take advantage. Joey Logano, he led 199 laps here last year. If he got out front, there's not saying he can't do it again. Willie B, fantastic at short flat tracks. Chase Elliott, fantastic at short flat tracks. Ryan Blaney was great yesterday in heat races. I love Blaney today. Not happy about his price tag, but he is a fantastic play today. Kyle Busch showed some speed in heat races yesterday. That was surprising. Alex Bowman, he's Hendrick, so that's always a positive. He didn't really give me anything to write home about as far as heat races or qualifying or anything like that. So I'm not big on Bowman. Buescher, I don't like Busch. I like Buescher, but I like Josh Berry at starting one position back at 7,500 way more than I like Chris Buescher. Remember, Josh Berry is in Penske powered equipment, Penske prepared equipment. He's essentially a $7,500 Penske car, and he's good. So love me some Berry today. Daniel Suarez, I don't know if this is fact or if this is just a rumor I saw online, but I saw that Suarez is not going to be back at Trackhouse next year. I need to go out and double check on that. Maybe I shouldn't even mention that, but nothing really to write home about for me, amigo. Plus 7,500 on the books. He's been terrible recently. Not great at short flat tracks. he got in here by winning a super speedway. So on that. Chase Briscoe. I like me some Chase Briscoe. I haven't heard any other talking heads this morning mention Chase Briscoe. Now I'm sure there'll be some talking heads mention Chase Briscoe. He spun out yesterday. He was in heat 2, and when everybody pitted, he didn't, and he stayed out on old tires. And when everybody passed him, he spun out trying to hold it together, which led to his not so great starting position. He is in Joe Gibbs equipment. I would say he's good at these tracks. He has a C- on this track type, but remember, he was not in such good equipment last season, so that skews that. So I like me some Chase Briscoe. Austin Dillon, Austin Cindric, he's in Team Penske. He hasn't really shown out here at these tracks before, but he's Team Penske, so I think that's worth a shot just based on that. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., let's see if he can make it past lap 1 this year. If not, who will he punch in the face? Taking bets in the comments. Silliness aside, you don't really think of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., right? His performance wasn't great. He wasn't great in the heat races. I can't see me getting to him. Harrison Burton, damn sure I can't see me getting to him. And here are the last two, at least as of this recording. Kyle Larson starting 19th. He led, I think, 145 laps out of 200 here in 2023. But that was on the old surface, and then they repaved it. So that's why I didn't mention that ass kicking earlier. He has not practiced this car. He has been qualifying in Indiana for the Indianapolis 500. So he has not qualified or practiced this car or ran any of the heat. He did nothing. This car, in fact, didn't even run the heat yesterday because it was guaranteed to start a starting spot in the race. It is starting Kyle Larson is starting 19th because of that. And the first time he will be getting in the car will be for this race. That doesn't shy me away from him at all. However, it's not going to shy anybody away from him at all, right? He's going to be extremely, extremely popular, but for good reason. He excels at this kind of racetrack. He led 145 laps here on not a great surface. He's the best car in the field, best prepared car in the field, and we all know what he can do. Absolutely love him on Sunday. And last but not least is Denny Hamlin. Denny is a short, flat king. However, he was terrible yesterday. Terrible. Really, 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 really bad. Really bad. So bad that it's like, what in the world? Like, what happened? Like, how could this be? You have to think they're going to turn it around. It's Joe Gibbs Racing. It's Denny Hamlin. You have to think they're going to turn it around, right? But he was terrible yesterday. Terrible. I'll say it again. Terrible. So that is your starting lineup again. As of now, there still are 3 starting spots left to fill, and those will be filled roughly around 7 o'clock Eastern time. 7 o'clock Eastern time today. Myself or the editor, thank you to the editor who is helping me out today with some stuff, will tag the channel when those 3 drivers are added to SaberSim with their projections. And once again, you will want exposure to those drivers. Friendly reminder, because I think this is very important. Let me go like that. Bam. This is a exhibition race. There is a competition caution at lap 100, and then an extra promoter's caution that the person in charge can throw whenever they want from lap 200 to lap 220, unless a real caution happens between lap 200 and 220. If you are looking for a reason to skip this slate or to play lightly, it should be because this is a exhibition race, And because there is a promoter's caution that they can throw at any time after lap 100 to 220, and they are absolutely going to use that caution in hopes that chaos ensues. And I would hate for one of you guys to be winning all of the money, or myself for that matter. And then they throw a caution, and then the bullshit, pardon my French, starts. So this is an exhibition race. We're back to real normal NASCAR next weekend, the best weekend of the year. Indy 500, Coke 600, the Bob Barker Memorial for you sprint car fans. Can't wait. But for now, we're all-star racing. And as always, let's ship it.